Trying to get some voice here. So I traded some markets today. I've been trading silver. I have a longer term equities position up here, which actually means I need to delete these two. So I have a total of 6 long-term positions on equities here. And I have been trading Bitcoin. I have NASDAQ, actually Bitcoin. I think we got a couple of take profits there. We have 0.89 times 2. And I'm holding the rest of these trades here. I think this is a down move to run higher. And I kind of like the reaction that we have right now. And not entirely convinced on equities yet that like we've bottomed, but I think we have. I know a lot of people sort of from the same school as me. They think it's like, you know, you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then it comes down for the close for a high of the week. I don't think that's what we got. But, you know, the reasons are for things I don't have to talk about here. But I think we could be above this high today. But I'm more interested in being above. I had some initially a couple of take profits on the NASDAQ long here, but then I didn't quite get the full take profits, and these 3 I have here, they became a stop loss. So I labeled that as a -1 risk reward here. But we managed to get a couple of take profits. And I still think my arrows here that I drew a few weeks ago, both here for ES, are probably not that deep anymore though, if I just had to guess. This is also why this longer term position is accommodating that we could be trading a bit lower as well still today. I wouldn't go in and just like jam a stop loss to the low of the day here. But I'm kind of observing that we probably, like I would give it like 45% odds right now that we will not see this low taken at 60.70. Probably the low of day is also in, but I'm sort of just sitting here right now and observing that with a longer term position, which, you know, it roots me into the direction of what I'm trying to focus shorter term, while still not engaging with the tight stop loss. So I do like to do these smaller term, or should I say shorter term swing trades. Initially on this first down move here, I got in with 2 positions. I'm just gonna slightly adjust this because I always base it from the first position, my entry. So I just gonna slightly adjust this. It's not cheating, guys. And this one also a little bit lower there. And these one looks pretty perfect. So these are like essentially the trades. And I'm gonna use the stop loss from my first position here. So we are looking like this. So I have to make this adjustment when I do the results anyway. But effectively, you know, there's no reason to have like a couple of handles of deviation on the stop loss. Doesn't really make any sense. So I'm kind of, the best thing that could happen, as I see it, is that the Dow Jones, there's 2 things that can happen here. We're spending some time now. There's 3 things that can happen. We've bottomed, which there are some reasons for that. But I don't have to talk about that right now. The second thing that can happen is we just take out this low here or this one. So do like something like this. And then we make a kind of a run higher. And I like getting into this next week. Somewhere up here next week for sure. And the third thing that can happen is I'm fairly sure that the Dow is not gonna come down here. I'm fairly sure about that. Like 70%-ish odds of that. But I do think what could be sort of beautiful is that we come down, just spike this, maybe even these. So like a little bit of a support level here, like make a little deviation on that. And let me just check if my microphone is working. I think it is. It looks like it is. So if that happens, then start coming up to where we are around now. I would love to try and get, you know, with the right conditions, a short-term bottom and actually have very tight stop losses and see a run higher from that. But until we get that, or something else relative to time, I'm not super excited about just locking in the low of the day here. But everything to me looks like the Dow is potentially hitting all-time highs, or ES. I think this sort of relative distance right now is favoring the Dow, making a run for all-time high. And I wonder if the Dow could start putting in some relative strength, because we have seen a little bit more weakness here. and we could see next week, next 2 weeks actually have more strength on the Dow. And I think once we get above these highs, it's gonna be a straight shot to this high up here. That's what I think from what we've had here. I feel like the investors, let me put this straight. The investors have already panic sold here. So if we come above here, we're probably gonna run very fast up here, because the panic selling has taken place here, and we have some stops here probably, and kaboom, right? But short term, it's definitely considerable that we don't really have a solidified structure here. So that's kind of what I had for equities. I like that Nasdaq came a little bit weaker here, and we'll see. That's definitely one of the reasons why I think we could start going higher. We've sort of cleaned the board a little bit from like this high and these lows here, and it's non-farm payrolls, and these numbers that came out were obviously much less than the previous. We've seen some adjustments by Trump and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't really something that upset the consensus, and we didn't get much on the actual release, which happened here. So it's kind of like we had a two-staged kind of move in non-farm payroll. First up, down, above the high and low of today, and then up and then down. And I was honestly pretty prepared to take a short here. It's just like the moment I got into the engagement area for taking a short, we were down here and we were down here. And then it was kind of like, you know, didn't really want to rush to take a trade there. I think a short around here, I might have missed to sort of come down here, but be that as it may, I'm not interested in shorts right now. Even though I talked about that we could go lower, I think the general direction is higher. Dollar, I had a longer term position. I have these arrows. I still have these arrows. Unless we start seeing like a big down move that can sort of challenge, and we see like some volatility between like this low and this low, I still think we could come down to come higher. And if we see volatility on equities on the upside here, sort of in the off hours of Forex losing its volatility, and the dollar doesn't lose this area here, and we make an all-time high on one of the indices, I think this could still trade higher. And that's kind of what I'm favoring here. And obviously I have 2 remaining positions here on Bitcoin. So if we look at my Forex positions, I still like the stop loss. I still like my trade. I had a little bit of an unlucky take profit placement, but I was managing 1 billion positions, and I was watching metals as well. The moment non-farm payrolls came out, I was completely obsessed with silver and gold, which we'll cover a bit soon. My first take profit here missed a little bit short. Could probably have managed with something around here, but I still, truth be told, I don't think we're going below here, so I'm still holding these positions here. I don't think so. And I have a similar idea for pound. I think we're still gonna make a kind of attempt to run higher. But at this time now, I think that it's kind of 2 things. I feel like the market hasn't moved enough. Like if I just remove everything, I just don't feel we've moved enough for today. For this week, sure. You know, Monday and then came all the way up here. It kind of like completed the week and back inside the middle of the range. So it makes sense that it's like not really moving now. So it's definitely conceivable that we're not gonna see much more movement today. We don't have to go up here today on Forex for sure. But I still think we could reverse and sort of traverse up here into like the close of the bell at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm definitely holding these trades here. Little bit of an option to just exit here and then take the trade if we come above here. I think I might do that. So I'm just gonna cut off, let's actually do like this. I'm just gonna cut off these 2 trades here, sort of live, and I'm gonna cut off these 2 trades here. That would be 4 trades, so like one there, the other one at the same place, right there, and right there. And since I'm live streaming, I don't really have to update the chat straight away. I mean, if you're watching, you're watching, right? So we have right there and right there, and that's sort of it. I think we're building a bottom here and could run higher, but I'm just gonna put an alarm right there. I like the risk reward for a run above this high and up here if we do that a little bit more. So let's see what we get. And then I was trading silver and gold. I had my initial position with a bit of a complementing stop loss, considering we had non-farm payroll. But when I saw sort of the structure, I'm just going to show you what I'm seeing, and maybe you'll see something too. So we have like the weekly chart, okay, whatever. We have the weekly chart, whatever. We have the daily chart. And in the previous videos, I talked a lot about what I'm seeing here, so you can take a look at that. And then I saw that we came down, and you can take a look at what it is that it went down into here. And we were trading sort of at the bottom of like this wick. We had the immediate release here. I felt the bottom was in. And so initially I just wanted this high, and then I wanted to just focus on other markets after that. But I still have these longer term positions here that I think should take profit probably today, which leads to 0.64. Sorry guys, I might actually have been lying here. It's not 0.69. 0.64, there you go. So I just wanted to make sure I did the right data collection here. And we have the remaining 3 silver positions here. We have my equities positions, and we have 2 Bitcoin positions. These are positions I don't necessarily think or planned to hit today, but I do think these silver positions could hit today. And I have my Forex positions that we are gonna manage now, which would be 1.07 for euro. I might get into a position again here, to be honest, by the looks of it at least. Based on, actually it's 1. Let's see what happened here. 1.19 based on this first. So yeah, 1.19. And don't worry guys, like I'm managing everything on my own end while I'm doing this. It's not a problem. So, you know, I have some automating software that helps me with these things. So like that. And here we have 0.3. So that's a little shammy because it wasn't all 3. I have a 4th position on euro, don't I? Oh wait. Oh, yeah, I do have 1 position left. So I just don't know where the screenshot of that is. Let me check that out real quick. 1, 2, 3 positions. So I guess it would just leave one of them like that. And then I have 1 position left on the pound and 1 left here on the euro. So I think that this is gonna start trading higher. I wouldn't be surprised if equity is kind of like moving higher soon as well. Could look like we might get that. Yeah, I like that. So that was like one of the 3 conditions. We could start trading higher now. Obviously, we could go below here, but I like what I'm seeing here on Dow. And we could start trading higher here. So that's like kind of what I'm going to be focusing on the rest of the session. And as much as I want to trade here, I feel like the volatility should be better in equities now, the rest of the day. So, but I'm expecting like come up here, come down, run up here, consolidate a bit, and sort of like drift higher. Could even have like a Monday gap higher as well. And what is euro pound doing? Let's check. Let us check for a second here. A little bit of an upswing. And it looks to me like we could start seeing continuation lower. So kind of like a focus on pound might be something I like here. And I think I like the structure a little bit more. So let me use the pound instead to sort of decide whether I want to continue in. We could get like a higher high on euro here and then like a move lower. But I'm still overall favoring. So let's make some arrows because that's why we're streaming, right? I am still overall favoring a move higher, and I'm gonna give this an orange arrow for 60% plus probability. I think we're coming up here during next week. And as far as euro goes, I don't know if we're coming up here, but I think that we could seek a little bit higher as well. Maybe not as much as pound. And as far as this goes, I'm making this a green arrow. I am exceptionally bullish on this market. I am very, very bullish on this market here. So I mean, I have my long-term positions in, and I think that we don't need the gray arrow yet. We could probably even put this a bit higher, just like tentatively, and sort of a little arbitrarily. But I like, at least like that. I like that we could come down to run up. I give this 70% plus probability. And if we look at NASDAQ, it's a bit of a similar thing. I really don't want to see much more downside here, but we have a similar situation here, and I'm gonna give this one of my quite rare green arrows, and I don't necessarily think we'll get all-time high on NASDAQ here, but it is what it is. And Dow, I feel quite nice as well with what I'm seeing. I think we could come down, and we should probably at least come up here. Gold, I've been bullish this whole time. This orange arrow, in every video I've been repeating the same thing. Trump is basically a war event in and of itself, and I think that's just fundamentally pushing this market. No one's talking about gold. Everyone wants to buy Bitcoin, which is like the the replacement of gold. But here we are, gold making new all-time high, and Bitcoin sort of like who wants to trade this? I mean, it's such a garbage market. Anyway, and we hit the first take profit here for 1.14. Looks like we have pretty much just winners here, and we are holding this. I still think it's gonna sort of drift higher. I'm just thinking like projections and stuff like that, Fibonacci projections, and both on the 1 hour, 4 hour. I'm just doing them all like sort of quickly in my head here. I'm liking this swing here, and I like the fact we have the 3,000 figure here, and even if we don't hit the 3,000 figure, I like to sort of come up and make an attempt for that. We just had some kind of spike here, so let me just check that out real quick here while we are live. So I want to see, this is euro, okay. So I'm not exactly sure if this was like a tweet from Trump or something else. Not something I'm aware of being scheduled at least. We had a run lower on NASDAQ, okay. Not entirely surprised, so I think it should hard reverse here. That's my assumption here. Got a little deeper than I wanted, but I think that if I had to guess, we are gonna be above 6093 by the end of this. But let's see if these trades, they pan out. Didn't get a short-term solidification that I wanted. Let's check down real quick. Right now I'm just looking at these naked charts. Yeah, I think we're coming down here. So we probably get a stop loss on the longer term position for my equities trade here. I think Dow, probably we have to allow, maybe not this, but I think we might come up there. So I'm just gonna do this while we're live. So like a low confidence that we should come down here, maybe even straight away. And then we have this here. So I might move my stop loss down here without sacrificing leverage. So I'll just update that in the charts here. Boom, 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 boom. So I have a longer term here, without sacrificing leverage, moving my stop loss here. There's a little bit extra, but I feel pretty confident still with this. But yeah, I'd like to see a move down here, probably just from what I'm seeing structurally. There's some other things I need to check, but yeah. And Forex, I feel the same thing. I think this is gonna reverse and run higher here. So obviously it was a good thing I went out of my trades here. That was a very good thing. So that's -1 for both of those two. And what did gold do? Nothing, huh? It did nothing. So if Forex reverses here, I think this could really explode higher. A little bit more shit on silver, but I still it looks really bullish here in silver as well. So I actually kind of want to, just give me a second here, guys. So my expectation here is that that might be the bottom, and we're gonna see a nice run on all-time high now. This actually makes me even more bullish. I don't know what to say. I think we might have the bottom. I'm just softly calling the bottom here. Once we get above this, I think this is the bottom, and we're gonna storm higher here. So that's kind of what I am playing for. So I'm just muted for a second. Just give me like 1 minute. Someone said hi in the chat, so I'm just saying hi as well. I'm just saying hi as well. So here we are. I want to still just focus on buying this. I don't think we topped. And it's kind of getting into critical territory in terms of what would otherwise be a top. I think this is gonna make a run for buy side. I think so, possibly even today. So anyway, we had a bit of volatility there, a little bit of an up move on euro, but nothing that's like alarmingly confirming much at this moment. We already stopped lost here on euro and pound. I'm really happy I took that position off. So I think, where were we? Let's check Bitcoin real quick if it completely capitulated. Not yet. So I'm also sort of softly bullish on this market. Very softly, so like a gray arrow. I'm not sure if we're gonna make an all-time high move on that with equities, but just kind of looking for that. And yeah, that's about it. So I'm just gonna finish up here, and thanks for watching. And then let's hope there's no more fucking random spikes like that, huh?